What is up, you beautiful people? I didn't do a live stream for like ever. I just thought to myself, why not actually do one after a long time? I think it's a good idea, to get in connection with you guys a little bit, but also, talk about things that I saw lately, things that I thought would be interesting to talk about, and to actually see what is actually going on in the K-pop world. And of course, guys, if you have anything you want to ask me, if you want to know what the current situation is, just ask away. I'm quite a open book, and I don't have a problem with that. Talking about things is always good. I think communication is always good, and I'm happy that I can finally do a live stream again, because it has been way too long actually for me since I did one. I think the last one was literally like 4 or 5 months ago, like pretty long time ago. And there is one simple reason for that. When you don't have the time to live stream, you literally just don't have the time. And it's something that I was working on for a long time, but at the same time, I had other projects as well running in the background. And to get these things combined, it was just not possible because my working hours were a little bit questionable, if I can say so. Like the timings would be really odd. And if I had the energy, let's say right now, to do the live stream, I would have done it, but like I said, it was just not there. You only have 24 hours in a day, and I wish it was maybe a little bit more. But today, quick update. So what's the current status? I am currently finally free again from doing what I am doing. All the projects, summer projects, are finally done. I'm happy that they're actually done. They have been quite heavy in taking away my time. There's still a couple things that I need to do to finalize it, but these are really minor things, because I can actually just be at home while fixing them. While with the other ones, I had to travel a lot, go to A, go to B, go to C, make sure everything is done, make sure that everything is settled, because, once you're a photographer, once you're a videographer, you're just needed in different locations. Sadly, you just cannot work from home. And this is also the one thing that a lot of people misunderstand, that, only because you're a videographer or a photographer, if you're needed on set and you had Corona, it destroyed a lot of businesses for a lot of people. So I'm happy that I got through it. I'm happy that it's finally picking up again. I'm happy that I can travel. I am a little bit sad that I wasn't able to do more live streams like this in the past, because I actually do enjoy talking to you guys. So I can imagine that some of you guys will not be there as the usual, because, hey, maybe you moved on as well. That is totally fine. I do apologize for all the people that I promised that I would do live streams, but I just didn't. But this day, like I said, I really want to use to talk about certain elements that I think are interesting to me. Let me actually move my chair because it's in the way. There we go. But today I want to talk about some news articles that I thought were super interesting, and also I want to talk about some points and really just go into depth into them and just explain my thoughts on what I currently think about these topics. And you can already see some by the title. One of them is going to be the return of Blackpink. I think this is something that should be very exciting for the K-pop world, especially now with BTS out of the way, if I can say it like that. Then I also have another one which is actually quite interesting in the sense of it is a little bit weird, because this is one of those typical K-pop scenarios which I think is just ridiculous. And another one which is also a little bit sad. We have a little bit of everything to talk about, but I want to get used to talking as well live again. I think it's a good opportunity to just learn you guys and talk with you guys a little bit, talk directly on the camera, talk directly with you while we're here. But let's jump right into it. I think we should just start off with the most weirdest one. So the weirdest article that I read today, and this is also the reason why I thought I wanted to make a live stream, because I can just talk my way out of it. Like, I just want to talk about the situation. So the first thing I just read was that one of the EXO members, like whether it is Luhan or not, like I don't really care about that, but I just love the title. He's allegedly spotted drunk on the streets once again. In all honesty, who cares? Is he hitting anyone? Is he driving drunk? Who cares? But the weirdest thing is that they come with these silly, weird proof photos, and I really don't get it. So you guys can basically see these pictures, I guess. No, like I see what you guys see, and what you can see is like, what are these photos taken with? Like a potato with what? It makes no sense at all. And I'm just so confused about it. Like, how do these, who creates these articles? And my theory is behind them, like especially when you read through it, is that basically these must be companies or people that really want to damage someone's name. whether it even is Luhan, whether it is any other member from a K-pop band or not, it's just so weird, really, really weird, that they go into such a length to write up this article because someone got drunk. Well, guess what? I was also drunk last week, but who cared about that? Literally no one. Yeah, it startled me a little bit. Reading these articles always just, I don't know what to take from it, to be honest. And I can only imagine that there are going to be fans that are going to be, decimated. They're just going to be upset about it. They're going to be not happy about it because they love him or whatever. I really don't care too much about that. But it's just about the idea that these people really, really try to destroy someone's name. Like, literally, can you see this guy in this picture? It's the weirdest proof that I've seen in a long time. But either way, I still think it's very interesting. I still think it's just worth mentioning that the K-pop world is messed up in this way. I think it's just sad, actually, to a certain point, that you read these kind of news articles. It really just shows that these outlets, and this is not the only outlet that talks about it, but we have many outlets that actually talk about crap. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of people who are actually writing these articles. Like, someone had to come there, sit there and write this article. I still think it's a big waste of time, but it's out there. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's a good reason to talk about these kind of problems or not? Tell me in the chat if you want, and leave it in the comments if you want as well. I just think it's still one of the weirdest things that is happening in the K-pop world, and I think this is exclusively working in the K-pop world, especially when it comes to Europe. Like, things will not come into the media unless it's really something bad. For example, someone starts drinking and driving and crashes their car. Someone drinks and drives and hits his girlfriend. Drinks and drives and dies. It's really weird how they take this really out of the proportions and try to destroy someone's name. Like I say, for me, it's one of the weirder ones out there, one of the weirder articles out there for today. And I know this one is a little bit older, but it doesn't matter. It's just about the entire point. It makes no sense. Then the second article that I found today, and I thought this was also something interesting because it should have been a logical answer for a lot of people, but sadly I can imagine that a lot of people getting into the K-pop world just don't know what the reality is, like what actually makes you successful in the K-pop world. So here we basically have someone called Zico. Now, I don't know where he is from, in all honesty. But anyway, he was on a live stream or a TV show, and someone basically asked him, like, hey, what actually is an important factor of becoming a popular idol? Now, even without reading the article, like, in all honesty, what is the number one important factor of becoming famous, of becoming big within the K-pop world? I mean, I don't know if someone is going to answer it in the comments right now. Like, if you want to, please do, like, we can talk about it. That's the entire point of it. But if you think about it, what is the one thing that is important beside yourselves and your skills and this and that? And this goes for anything. This even becomes or goes into the topic of becoming a movie star, becoming a singer, becoming an artist, anything like that. What makes someone important? Well, I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to think about it. Maybe you have the answer. Maybe you just want to listen to me give the answer. But there is a very, very simple answer to it. And that is literally, are you ready? It's literally just the record label or the label that you're working with. In other words, like Hype, SM, any of those bigger names, they are the ones that help you get bigger than what you are. These are the companies with a lot of power, with a lot of accessories to basically help you get where you need to be. There are a lot of artists out there, we don't have to call groups, we don't have to call names, that literally cannot sing, and yet they are very popular because of the record labels, the labels that help them push forward. Even with choreography, I don't think that all the members in certain groups are perfect in choreography, especially if you compare them one-to-one, side-to-side, next to each other. But who helps them? It's the record labels. They know how to squeeze that valuable information out of all the members and all of the news outlets to make them popular. I mean, this is a very good article to get into the next topic as well. But it shows what money can do. It's all of those labels, all of those agencies that have the money. It's never the groups that really help and push forward. I mean, this is basically the transcript in the TV show. Everyone is laughing. Everyone is like, oh, this is really cool. But basically what Zico even says himself is, you need to meet a good agency. And that's true. You really need to make sure that you have the right people around you. And that goes for everything. Even if you want to be a successful group, you cannot become a successful group unless you have a group that's able to work together. So that is a really good point. But I did put a smile on my face, or the article put a smile on my face. I thought it was something that is quite interesting, purely because it allows, for people to just be a little bit more neutral in the point, like, even though you have skill, it doesn't really matter. You really have to just make sure you get pushed by the right people, people with power. And yeah, that's all I have to say. I mean, even if you read this here a little bit further, he even goes into it a little bit more. Like, I totally agree. Lol. Funny to say that, laughing out loud, but I definitely think that the agency makes or breaks the group depending on the work they do. This is sad, but so true. Like I just said, it's really the power of the groups, of the soloists, of everyone that is on the internet. These are the people that basically help you get to the next level. But there is something still to read, and it's always worth to just read these smaller articles. They don't really have a lot of value in them themselves, but it is always nice to just hear exactly what these members have to say. What do these people really have to say about how they got famous? How did they get bigger? How did they have a good comeback? How did they not have a good comeback? These are the small things that I still think are also very important. It's the same with my career. If you're a videographer, a photographer, or anything that is in the creative world, you really need to make sure that people have a good word of mouth about you, because then you get well known. People want to share you around. In other words, share tasks, put you into different outlets, put you into different jobs, positions, and everything, to really work on a project. You really have to make sure you push forward. And I really enjoyed these kind of articles. I think they're always just fun to read. I don't know about you guys. Are you into reading these silly articles? They're not too serious, but it's always nice to get these smaller insights on these groups. I think they're really just fun, and they're worth learning about. Yeah, I don't know what to say, guys. I mean, you're all a little bit quiet. I can see there are some people there. If you are there, I just want to say hi. Thank you for sticking by. And like I say, if you have any questions on any of the topics that I'm talking about, or you have generally a question or something you want me to look at and we can check it out, please just tell me in the chat. I'm really open about it. This is an hour dedicated to you guys, maybe a little bit longer if you want, but I really just want to take this time to be connected with you once again. I didn't do live streams for quite a long time. To be honest, I don't even know if the setup even works. Like, I don't even know if it's working right now, but it doesn't even matter. It's okay. I think it's still worth going forward. Guys, if it doesn't work, please tell me in the chat, okay? So maybe my voice doesn't even get picked up. Who knows? Besides you guys, because you're actually watching me. The next topic that I thought is actually something that I said many times already, and this is about Super Junior. So Super Junior, they just had their comeback. We had their 2 MVs to look at. We looked at multiple of their behind the scenes, and I thought they were really fun as well. Like, these were really good behind the scenes. They were like little movies. They were like small little, little ways to get entertained, by actually the Korean world rather than the K-pop world. I think Super Junior is more than K-pop. They are the type of people that they know how to entertain you, because they're so mature. They know how to entertain us with the music, but again, it's really just showing a little bit more about the cultural side of the industry, which is always a little bit more fun. But the sad thing is that they actually have to postpone their world tour due to the death of Eunhyuk's father. I think he passed away like a couple of days ago, and I was actually just, though it's a sad moment as well, but for me it's also the part where I'm realizing that, hey, it's actually nice that they are stopping the tour. Especially when we look in the K-pop world, generally in the Korean world, especially when I worked with some bigger Koreans in the companies, they would not stop something unless it is basically everyone that's sick, everyone who's dead. And even just stopping the show for one member shows that there is a lot of respect between all the members, which I really, really just adore. And it just makes me a little bit of a bigger fan for Super Junior. It makes me want to adore them a little bit more, because I think it's always nice to listen to someone who makes good music, but it makes it a bit different if you also really see that they are a little bit more human. They're a little bit more intact. They're a little bit more fun. They're a little bit more engaging, rather than just pumping out music without really caring for one another. And I think this is a really good sign, actually, that they're stopping it, they're blocking it. And from what I see as well, they are still going to be there at the Manila The question is, what are they going to do there? They're most likely only going to say hi to the fans, basically, and they're going to postpone it, meaning whoever has tickets can come, but they can also go back to them in the future again, because hey, there is literally no show for them. They still went to Manila and meet the fans. Yeah, exactly. They still went at least to the show or to the show grounds to meet the fans, maybe apologize, say what the next plans are. And I must say, that is something that I still think is beautiful. A lot of people won't do that. I've never seen anything like this happen before. They tend to just not go, or they just tend not to even care about it. And it's actually beautiful as well to see that they are, as a group, still together. And, you know, you pick up these kind of small details anyway from the... from watching the behind the scenes. You know, they are more like a family. They know if one person is not doing the correct thing, or one person is not feeling it, they're going to fight through it together rather than just blaming it off on one person. And I think that's important. You know, there's a lot of groups out there, a lot of big labels out there. I get it. There's a lot of money on the table as well, and they don't want to waste it. But it shows that at the end of the day, mental health is much more important than than your well-being for the group, you know, on stage. I mean, can you just imagine going on stage knowing that your dad just passed away? Like, that it must be nerve-wracking. That must be really, really upsetting, especially when you are having a blackout, you know, like you're basically in a state where, like, is this real? Is it not real? It's really crazy, but I'm happy that they took this choice. I also know that someone was tested positive. I don't remember who, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I still think this is a really good element, you know, just to bring the members together, bring the fans a little bit closer again, and still go on set and discuss basically discuss everything that has happened. You know, maybe I don't even know what they did there. I mean, did anyone watch it? I mean, Liesel, you just wrote in the chat saying, you know, they still went to Manila, but do you actually know what they did there or not? Because I did not, and I would just, maybe someone knows. Maybe I don't think there's a video of it. This is quite new to me as well, to hear that they at least went there, but maybe someone has an update to actually see what they did. So you actually went there, and what actually happened there? Like, update us all. Like, we would like to know it as well. So while you're writing that, just tell us what happened there, because I still think it's a very valid point, because depending on what they did there, I'm really curious as well. Like, was it a bit of a marketing stunt? Was it more like an apology? Was it more like, hey, we're going to chill a little bit, or hey, we're just going to say hi and goodbye? Like, I'm curious, like, what did they actually do there? I bet many of you guys are also interested in what K-pop stars do there, you know, in case there is no show, but they have a plan B, you know, a backup plan. I would love to hear your thoughts as well, and I think it's always just very important that we can always just talk about it openly and learn from one another. You know, I don't have all the answers. I mean, we have Google, but hey, it's just nicer as well to just talk to you guys a little bit for once, rather than me doing all the research and see what actually happened. So Salma says they even sing 3 songs and apologize to the fans when they don't need to apologize. They already know when they got to the airport and didn't join the flight. It must have happened really quick though, no? Like, if you think about it, it must have been mental to see what actually happened. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think for this group, what makes it just sad is because of their age. You know, it shows that no matter how old you are, you still have emotions, and it's nice to see. Also really funny, before we get to the bigger topic of today, and that is actually Blackpink. I saw a post today of Blackpink on one of the members, but they say Blackpink only came back together after 6 years. I think I didn't even believe how much time passed before I thought they did another song. Like, if you think about it, it's quite crazy. I don't know what they were meaning with that. Like, when was the last comeback with Blackpink? Does anyone know? If you do know, leave it in the chat. But what I like about Super Junior, and let's go back to them now, is actually when they were talking in the behind the scenes, was really like, hey, we are there, we're going to be working together, we're going to have comebacks every year, every second year, while other groups are really trying to come back after a couple of years all the time, you know, 3-4 years. And now that I saw that post with Blackpink, you know, it interlinks really nicely to say, like, holy shit, they did a really good job in maintaining their group together, staying strong, staying a family, you know, putting their needs, if I can say so, to the side to make sure that they can all come together. I mean, just imagine if they all got married by tomorrow, the group will disband. And I'm happy that they didn't do that. At a certain point, I do hope that some of them still get to live their life, make a little bit of a prodigy with their children later. But let's see where this is going to with Super Junior. Like, imagine, I'm really curious. What do you guys think? Like, do you think Super Junior is still going to go on for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Or what do you guys predict? I hope there's going to be a nice balance between work and life. I'm that kind of person. I really care about work and life, at least the balance, and hope that they can go forward. Let's actually read it. So the organizer was actually in Elf, and that's why she understood us all. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm really happy for them. I'm happy that they were able to really just get everything organized, get everything out there, and make sure that all the fans are up to date with everything that's happening. I've seen several concerts in the past, bigger ones with like Jason Derulo. Like I wasn't there, but I was following to see what would happen in case he was sick or in case anything happens. And I just hated to see how these agencies, that book in all these people just don't care about the fans. I think it's terrible. Like, you even have to imagine the people that booked this event, they're taking the time for it. I don't know if they're booking a hotel, going to a friend's place or anything like that, but you still have to remember that it still takes time and you cannot compensate back time, because if an hour passes, like even you guys listening to me right now, like once it's over, you can't go back again and get your time back. And sadly, you just have too many groups out there, agencies that just don't care. So it's actually nice that the organizer at least understood what was happening on, and they communicated everything quite clearly with the fans. Communication is always number one to success. It also is the number one way to make sure that everyone is happy. I try to communicate as much as possible to you guys, like when I'm busy, when I have time, when I don't have time, when I'm there, when I upload, when I don't upload. And I think this is going to help me as well, just organize my life a little bit, because I don't want to just disappear. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do want to make sure that everyone at least has a little bit of knowledge in the sense of like, what's actually happening, man? Like, where the hell are you? Like, you make videos then, and then you stop, and then you disappear, and then you stop. What's going on? I'm not that kind of person. I really just like to update everyone and make sure that everyone is happy. So, like in this case, I know it's a sad story. I know it's really bad that they had to cancel the show for the time being, but it's also a learning curve. Stay communicative, stay positive as much as you can, and pull forward. Like, yes, it's something that's really sad, but if you keep it to yourself, you're just going to make other people even sadder, and you don't want to do that. I mean, I guess from the comments that I just read, you guys are also at one moment you're a little bit happy, that you got an update from them, while on the other hand, you're also sad for the news, and it makes you just a little bit more wholesome as a person. And I think that's really nice. Like, you guys who have been watching it, you guys are the heroes, you guys are the true fans that also understand it. I can imagine some people would have been really pissed off, but that percentage is quite small, it's not the biggest. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, I mean, we're growing. I mean, we have a couple of viewers right now, which I think is kind of cool. I mean, we have like, 18, 17 viewers. It's not the most that I ever had, but it's still fantastic that you guys are still bumping in, If you want to talk about anything, ask away, It's also your stage, it's my stage, it's everyone's stages, and that's my goal with the entire live streams and this channel. Yeah, just ask away. That's all I can say. If not, I'll just continue talking a little bit, because the next topic I want to talk about is something that can either make my channel or destroy my channel. I think Blackpink is always a scary channel to talk about, topic, not channel, purely because if you say anything negative, people are going to kill you. Like, they have blood on their hands, and they really, really want to destroy you. So I made a video about it already to say like why the comeback of Blackpink is quite scary. I think it's quite scary actually, but I'm also, the more the time elapsed and the longer time I had to think about it, I'm actually quite excited for what is going to happen to Blackpink. As a small reminder, if people didn't watch the video that I made, so I made a video concerning this title. This title is basically copy and pasted in many news articles. And basically what it is that Blackpink's comeback music video to be YGE's biggest budget production ever. The biggest, it's not the smallest, it's the biggest, okay? You guys, people always think that the word bigger is better. Yeah, no, maybe. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think bigger is always better, or maybe smaller is better? It really depends on the situation. But because I saw this title so often, I had to basically rant about it a little bit, because I don't think that budget, or the biggest budget, should be the number one reason why people should come back to Blackpink. We know it has been a long time since we saw them, you know, make new music, but at the same time, they are really just boasting not about Blackpink and their skills, their dancing skills, which is actually phenomenal. I was watching some of these dance clips today, you know, about Blackpink, and man, these girls can dance. Like, they really have it out for them. It's actually fucking nuts, to think the least, you know, like, how do they do it? Like, how do the people dance? And I'm not saying that because I want to really just glow for Blackpink. I just want to say that when I see skill, you just have to compliment it, whether you like it or not, whether you like the music or not. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, this topic here was all about the budget. It's all about the money. We have the most money, therefore we should be the best people out there. Also, I think this is a very exciting point, because first I thought it was going to be negative. I would think that they're going to turn something with a bigger budget into something so big that they don't know how to scope it, how to cope with it, like scope and cope, if I can say so. Meaning they're just going to blow everything into everything oversized, meaning it's going to be hectic, it's going to be over the top. I've shown some examples of Blackpink videos where I thought it was just a little bit too much for the time given. You have to remember, an MV is only like what, 4 minutes, 3 minutes long, and to squeeze so much content into 3 or 4 minutes, like imagine me squeezing, I don't know how long I'm live right now, but if I don't know, how long am I doing this? 35 minutes. Imagine I have to squeeze 35 minutes into a 2-minute clip. It's nuts. Like, you can't do it. You know what I mean? But what I wanted to say is that I hope that what they're going to do is make sure that everything is under control. Now that BTS is even out of the way, I think it's kind of funny though that now that BTS has more or less abandoned each other for the time being, they're on their hiatus, their break, whatever they want to call it. It's a little bit questionable why they're coming back now. Maybe it's all planned. It's a little bit of a coincidence, let me say it like that, that the biggest groups, the biggest K-pop groups out there, one basically stops, the other one has a comeback. It's a little bit too perfect. Maybe I am just thinking a little bit too far, but maybe it's also a very good opportunity for Blackpink and YGE to really just reinvent K-pop, like come back with something cool. If they have the biggest budget, I'm really looking forward that they come back with something really fresh, new music, a new design, a new whatever it is. It really has to be amazing. They have that opportunity now. I know that they already started with that filming and everything, but I'm hoping as well that they are going to come back and really reinvent it, you know, really just come back, because this is what we're hearing, you know, this is what we're hearing with the biggest budget production ever. Yeah, they better come with something fucking big, or else everyone is going to be a little bit disappointed, you know, like the hype is there now. They build it up. These articles build up the hype for a lot of people. And I hope they are going to come back with it. I think there are no comments here, but at the same time, yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity, like I say, and that's the thing, you know, money just allows for new things to come together again, if that makes sense. A lot of money allows for people to come back, reinvent the wheel a little bit, and come back with something powerful. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm not saying that because, again, I want Blackpink to be the number one. It basically is a new vision for a lot of members, K-pop stars, whatever they want to be, you know, show that they can also become bigger. You know, new ideas allow for everyone to grow, get bigger, get better, and that's what I really see as well. So I hope it's not only something that's going to be Blackpink centric, but I do hope that it's going to change a little bit in the K-pop world, you know, really show what they can do with money. And yeah, like I say as well, I just hope they don't come back with something that is overly crazy, if I can say so, and is beautifully under control. But that's always questionable, you know, like now the hype is there, no one really knows what's going to happen, but it is there. What is another thing that I wanted to say actually about this? Oh yeah, true. So with Super Junior and Blackpink, I did tell myself that if they ever come to Europe or so, I would really just love to book their tickets, no matter where it is. If you guys are also going, please join the Discord. I can pop a link in the chat, I guess, and write me basically on Discord, because then I can Give me one sec, because then I can basically, maybe we can plan something all together. You know, I think going to a concert like this with true fans is always nice, and we can always just meet up, have a drink, and do whatever, and go to the shows together. I think it would be a really cool experience, and I think you guys would also be interested. But for now, we just have to wait until the dates are confirmed, because hey, the world is still under pressure purely because of Corona, purely because of all the restrictions and the war is going around. So we really need to see what has to happen there. But with Blackpink and SuJu, Super Junior, I do look forward to see them live once. I was once a little bit too late when I wanted to see a band that was what was it again? Oh man, that's embarrassing. I really just said their name. Linkin Park. There we go. Linkin Park was one of those groups that I always wanted to see, and then it was just too late. You know, the tragedy, the sad moments happened, and then gone. You know, the moment was gone. But that is something you just can't hinder. And a little bit gassy today. But yeah, that is something that I always enjoy talking about, and those are actually the topics I wanted to speak about. I mean, you guys didn't have to ask too much today, but that is totally fine as well. The next week or the next moments when I'm going to go live again, there are a couple more topics that I want to talk about that are a little bit more terrible, you know, a little bit more on the negative side. I hope we don't get demonetized on YouTube while talking about them, purely because I think it's still very interesting that these things happen. We're talking about harassment, you know, both for male and female. Sadly, I still think that the topic of male harassment is being neglected a little bit too much, especially in the K-pop world. But I do believe that it happens. I still believe that people are out there, and we just need to bring it to the light a little bit, you know, to make sure that to show that actually happens. There have been a couple of articles that have been shared to me already that I need to look into. I started already looking into it, but that's going to be a topic that we can talk into next time. You know, let's talk about it a little bit more in depth and really just bring these moments back to life. Because, like I say, if we just stop talking about issues, the issues just disappear. But they only disappear to us, but they don't disappear in the world of K-pop or in the industry, you know. So it is something that I want to talk about, and yeah, that is really it, guys. I mean, you guys are always awesome. I was really actually excited when I did the Super Junior week. Like, I didn't expect so much content to come out from them actually, but I'm happy that it actually did, and it really just, everyone was happy, you know. It was nice to do the premieres with the behind the scenes. I thought they were really, really fun to watch with you guys, and really just grow not only you guys but also me as a channel, because it just gave me the opportunity to understand what is going on in your heads and what you guys are thinking and what you guys know and what I don't know, and then we can mix all this information together and grow strongly. And I'm really happy about it. Like, you know, it makes me really happy to see this actually after a long time, because hey, I think, like I say, it's all about the community. It's not always about me. It's all about being the correct person to bring the right people together so we can all have a say, have a good time, have a good, you know, everything that matters, you know, to having a good time. Guys, you are all awesome. But if you have no more further questions, I think this would have been a very short live stream. I think next time we're going to do it a little bit longer. We're going to have a bit of a premiere in the sense of a little bit more of a schedule, let's say, you know, that we can go through. I will talk maybe a little bit slower, you know, we can take our time, we can just grow all together and talk about certain topics. At the same time, I also just want to stream a little bit more. I used to stream a lot, like quite a lot on Twitch. I actually enjoy streaming on Twitch, but for the people who don't know, streaming on Twitch is great because you can basically stream anything you want, you know, K-pop music, whatever, watch MVs together, you know, really do these things. But at the same time, you can also get banned really quickly now, and that's why I'm staying with YouTube. I know it's a little bit harder to create content and it's a challenge, but it's something that I still believe is very important, you know, that I know how to deal with this, you know, that I keep it entertaining for you guys, but at the same time I want to make sure that the channel can grow with you, and also I can grow with you as well. And at the same time as well, one more quick update, which I think is really cool, is actually that I now have a standing desk. Now, a YouTuber that I was in contact with, I asked him about the table. He says, man, it's awesome just to be able to work and stand and do both together, or YouTube and stand. It makes me so much happier to actually get this and do this, because I feel more like a presenter now rather than a someone sitting just behind a table and babbling around. You know, that it gives a bit of a different feeling. Like, this makes me feel a little bit more alive. Like, I'm really finding my zen right now. I'm gonna find a way to make this background a little bit more pleasant, give it a little bit more light, you know, give it a little bit more atmosphere, but that's something that we're going to work on. But for now, this is going to be the setup for a long time, for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, until I change it again, maybe, but that's not going to come. I'm really happy with it right now. I love my space, I love my happiness, and you guys also make it really good. Guys, I guess there are no more questions. I can still see a couple of people in the live stream, a real couple people, 2 people, 3 people, 5 people. It always changes, it always just jumps around, but it doesn't really matter. You guys are always awesome. For everyone that was there, I just want to say thank you very much. Again, if you have any ideas on what we can do next, then please just make sure to put it in the chat. And also, guys, by the way, is the music level and my voice level okay? Like, does it come over each other or not? Is it too much? Is it not too much? Just leave it in the chat. I would actually be happy with a little bit of feedback, because I cannot hear it. But guys, you are all awesome. Also, I might be gaming a little bit more on YouTube, but I'm still thinking if I should do it on this channel or not. Still thinking, but it's something that we can work on. You know, it's something that we can focus on all together, because hey, I like it. I like being live. I'm happy that I have it again. I built this setup just to be live, funny enough. I remember when I started YouTube, this was like, we're gonna have a little bit of a story time, okay? But what happened was damn it, what happened was, like, I was so amazed by Twitch and live streaming that I wanted to live stream as well. And I had a YouTuber, he also does live streaming. He's fantastic at it, and he basically motivated me to also do it, to just push forward, because I think it's still a skill to have, you know, just talk away and talk with you guys. But since then, it literally took me a year to get the setup I wanted. And you might be thinking, why does it take a year? There's a very simple reason for it. A, you need the finances for it, but it wasn't really about finances. It's more like you don't know what you're missing until you don't have it and you realize you need it. In other words, I didn't know that I needed to have this desk, you know, so I can stand and feel a little bit more alive. I like that. I didn't know I need to use my best camera for the best quality. Like, I hope the quality of my camera is all good. I hope you guys enjoy it. I think it's even in HD right now, full HD. It should be running in full HD. If not, tell me if the quality is bad. It's all up to you. You know, putting my mic stand, getting a different mic stand that's a little bit more sturdy, getting, I don't know, a bigger monitor, a second monitor, a gaming chair. Like, as silly as it is, like, I always thought like you need a proper chair, but I'm actually happy with it because it really just squeezes my shoulders nicely together and keeps me firm in my seat. You know, small things like that really make a difference. Or for example, I also used to not use any of my LED lights. You know, I thought you didn't need to. I thought you didn't need to light up properly. And what did I get? I use all my LED panels that I actually have from my own productions. You know, the ones that I use to rent out and use them on sets. I think lighting is also very important for the people who follow me on YouTube. You know, you guys know how much my eyes are always focused on the lighting. I think lighting is just so important when it comes to making any type of video content, because without light you get shadows, and shadows are really, in all honesty, shitty to work with, especially when it comes to edits. You know, edits are terrible. No one wants to work with them. No one wants to enjoy them. Especially when there's a lot of shadows that you don't plan for. You know, it's nicer to add shadows in post if you have to, you know, like make it a little bit darker here where it has to be darker. But if this is all dark already, it's hard to brighten it up. And small things like this really just help me become the better YouTuber and also the better person while presenting. Like, I'm happy like this. I guess you guys are also happy like this. And if you have any ideas, like I say, I'm here. You guys are also there. But also next time, I presume I'm going to do it on a Saturday rather than a Sunday. Sunday is always the day, in my belief, where people, even though they tend to do nothing, it's also the day where people are worried about Monday, and Saturday is a little bit more of a calm day, you know, like everyone can relax, you can have a drink while listening to me, while we do stuff together. Hey, maybe I will have a drink with you guys, but it's just about the opportunity, you know, the opportunity to talk nicely together. Yeah, guys, this makes me happy. I'm actually more happy than I thought, but I really am happy that we can pull this together and have a good one. So yeah, guys, this has been I don't even know how long the stream is, but I guess like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour? Can't really say, but I am happy at least that you guys have been sticking around, listen to me a little bit, you know, also on the updates on what's happening. And I should just do this a little bit more often. It's just more fun to speak to you guys, so you guys have an update. And next time I'll just have a few more articles to actually talk about, you know, a little bit confronting, and we can discuss all those topics together, you know. And that's the plan, you know, really just push forward. That's all I can do. Time is always crappy, but we got to do what we got to do. That's what life is about, no? Guys, thank you very much for watching. For the people who are there right now, thanks a lot for sticking around. For the people that stuck quite long, thanks a lot for that as well. I could actually see that the average viewer right now is literally 10 minutes watching. I mean, that's quite a lot of time, you know. I just want to say thank you for that. But I just want to say, guys, I'll see you on the next stream. Stay happy, stay positive. And if anything, join the Discord. The link is in the chat. It's there. Enjoy it. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Have a safe one. Have a good one. And I'll see you on the next video or the next stream. So I'll catch you then, and have a good one. Done.